They tell you that you're free, that you have choices, that you control your life, that if you follow the path laid out for you, everything will fall into place. Go to school, get good grades, get a degree, find a stable job, work hard, save money, buy a house, retire at 65, and then finally you can enjoy life. But deep down, you know something isn't right. If this system was truly designed for you to win, why are so many people struggling? Why do you feel like no matter how hard you work, you're still stuck in the same cycle? The truth is, the world has been programmed to keep you in check. From the moment you are born, you are placed into a system that was never meant to benefit you. You are trained, conditioned, and manipulated into thinking that you are making your own choices, when in reality, every choice has been carefully designed for you. The education system doesn't teach you how to be wealthy, how to be independent, or how to think critically. It teaches you how to be obedient. You're not being trained to lead. You're being trained to follow orders, to memorize information, to fit into a mold that someone else created for you. Why do you think they teach you that working a 9-to-5 job is the only path to success? Because if you knew how to make money on your own, you wouldn't need them. If you understood how the system really works, you wouldn't waste decades of your life building someone else's empire while barely keeping your own head above water. They convince you that success means climbing the corporate ladder, but that ladder has been built with steps designed to break under your feet. The people at the top don't want competition. They want workers. They want consumers. They want people who are too afraid to step outside the system and challenge it. Think about the distractions you are fed every single day. The endless entertainment, the constant stream of news designed to keep you scared, the social media algorithms engineered to keep you addicted. They don't want you to think. They don't want you to question. They want you glued to your screens, wasting time arguing about meaningless topics while they continue to pull the strings. And you wonder why people feel lost, anxious, and unfulfilled. It's because they have been trained to chase things that don't matter. Look around you. The majority of people live paycheck to paycheck, drowning in debt, trapped in jobs they hate. And yet they still believe that if they just work a little harder, if they just save a little more, one day everything will be fine. But it won't. The cost of living goes up while wages stay the same. The economy is manipulated to keep you struggling. You are taxed on everything, your income, your purchases, your property. Even when you die, they take a cut. And yet they call this freedom. But real freedom isn't just about money. It's about control. The ability to wake up and decide what you do with your time. The ability to move, to travel, to build, to grow without asking for permission. Real freedom means being untouchable, being self-sufficient, being in charge of your own destiny. And that is exactly why the system fights so hard to keep you distracted, to keep you weak, to keep you dependent. Because the moment you realize you don't need them, their control over you disappears. They want you afraid. Afraid of failure, afraid of risk, afraid of what happens if you step outside the boundaries they have set for you. That fear keeps you paralyzed. It keeps you from taking action, from making moves that could change your life. But what's the worst that could happen? You fail. So what? Failure is part of growth. The only real failure is doing nothing. Because every day you stay in the system, playing by their rules, you lose. You lose time, you lose energy, you lose opportunities that could have made you powerful. If you want to break free, you need to start seeing the world for what it really is. Stop assuming that the people in charge have your best interest at heart. Stop believing that working harder within the system will get you ahead. It won't. The only way to win is to step outside of it. Build something for yourself. Learn skills that make you independent. Take control of your income. Stop relying on institutions that were never designed to help you in the first place. Most people will never escape because they don't want to accept the truth. They find comfort in the illusion, in the false security of a monthly paycheck, in the belief that if they just keep their head down and follow the rules, things will work out. But deep down, they know something is wrong. They feel it. And the difference between winners and losers is that winners act on that feeling. They take the risk. They step into the unknown. They refuse to be controlled. This world doesn't belong to those who follow the rules. It belongs to those who break them, to those who are willing to challenge the narrative, to question authority, to carve their own path instead of walking the one that was built for them. You don't have to accept the life they handed you. You can rewrite your story. You can take back your power. But the first step is to see the illusion for what it is. The choice is yours. Stay asleep or wake up and take control. From the moment you are born, you are placed into a system designed to control you. It shapes your thoughts, your beliefs, your habits, and your desires without you even realizing it. You are conditioned to accept a version of reality that keeps you in line, that keeps you obedient, that keeps you too busy, too distracted, and too afraid to ever question if there's another way. They tell you what success looks like, what happiness means, what you should aspire to, and what you should fear. And the worst part, most people never even recognize the cage they are in. They live their entire lives following a script they never wrote, playing a role they never chose, serving a system that only benefits the few at the top. It starts with school. From a young age, you are taught to obey, to follow instructions, to sit down, be quiet, and regurgitate information. Creativity isn't encouraged. Independent thinking isn't rewarded. They don't want you to challenge ideas, to question authority, or to carve your own path. They want you to conform. You are not being educated. You are being programmed. Programmed to wake up at the same time every morning, to follow a rigid schedule, to complete meaningless tasks, to accept that your value is based on how well you fit into their system. You are trained to be a worker, not a leader, a follower, not an innovator. And by the time you finish, you've already been conditioned to believe that the only path forward is to find a job, work for someone else, collect a paycheck, and stay in line. But the programming doesn't stop there. The moment you step into adulthood, the chains tighten. You are told that success means getting a degree, getting a stable job, getting a mortgage, and spending the next 40 years working to pay off debts that were never designed for you to escape. The cost of living rises, but your salary barely moves. Taxes take a significant portion of what you earn. The government, the banks, the corporations, they all work together to keep you financially enslaved. They sell you the illusion of freedom while keeping you trapped in an endless cycle of work, spend and repeat. And the worst part, they convince you that this is normal, that this is life. Meanwhile, they flood your mind with distractions. Social media, television, video games, celebrity gossip, pointless arguments over politics and entertainment. It's all designed to keep you focused on the wrong things. They don't want you to think about wealth. They don't want you to learn about financial independence, about business, about how to escape their grip. They want you focused on entertainment, on consumption, on things that do nothing to elevate you. Every second you waste scrolling, arguing, watching mindless content, you are doing exactly what they want. Fear is another tool they use to control you. Fear of failure, fear of standing out, fear of risk. They teach you to be afraid of the unknown, to doubt yourself, to believe that stepping outside of the system will lead to disaster. That's why so many people never leave their jobs, even when they hate them. That's why so many people never start businesses, even when they dream of it. Because the system has programmed them to believe that security, even if it's miserable, is better than uncertainty. But what they don't tell you is that the greatest risk is doing nothing. The real failure is spending your life building someone else's dream while ignoring your own. Escaping the matrix is not easy. It requires a complete shift in mindset. It means questioning everything you've been taught, unlearning the lies and relearning the truth about how power and control really work. It means understanding that your time, your skills, your energy, and your attention are the most valuable assets you have, and the system is designed to steal them from you. Once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. Once you realize how the game is rigged, you have a choice: continue playing by their rules or break free and create your own. The first step is financial independence. The system relies on your dependence. It wants you living paycheck to paycheck, stuck in debt, unable to make decisions for yourself. The moment you learn how to generate income on your own terms, whether through business investments or skills that allow you to create value independently, you become dangerous. You become untouchable. Because a man who controls his own income controls his own life. He cannot be manipulated. He cannot be silenced. He cannot be forced into submission. The second step is mental independence. You must take control of your mind, your time, and your attention. Stop consuming pointless content. Stop allowing distractions to rob you of focus. Every moment spent on entertainment is a moment stolen from your future success. Read books that teach you how to build wealth, how to sharpen your mind, how to improve your body, how to master discipline. Surround yourself with people who push you forward, not those who hold you back. The third step is physical independence. Your body is your vehicle through this life, and the system wants it weak. They feed you garbage food, push a sedentary lifestyle, and tell you that taking care of yourself is optional. It's not. A strong body is a powerful body. It commands respect. It gives you energy. It makes you more capable, more resilient, more unstoppable. The final step is complete autonomy. You must reach a point where no one controls you. Your thoughts, your time, your finances, or your decisions. That is the ultimate freedom. That is how you truly escape. Not by complaining, not by blaming, not by waiting for the system to change, but by refusing to be a part of it. By taking full responsibility for your life and building something that no one can take from you. Most people will never do this. They are too comfortable, too afraid, too programmed. They would rather stay in their illusion of safety than take the risk of true freedom. But for those who do, for those who break free and carve their own path, life becomes something completely different. It becomes limitless. It becomes yours. And once you taste that freedom, you will never go back. Self-sufficiency is the ultimate form of power. In a world where people are conditioned to rely on systems, governments, corporations, and institutions, the ability to stand on your own, to generate your own wealth, to think independently, and to navigate life without being dependent on anyone else is what truly separates the strong from the weak. The system is designed to keep people dependent, to make them believe that they need a job, a degree, a set path laid out for them by someone else. But the truth is, the moment you rely on others to provide for you, you have given up control over your own life. The people who own this world, the ones at the top, they don't wait for permission. They don't depend on salaries. They don't put their fate in someone else's hands. They take charge. They create. They build. Most people are afraid of self-sufficiency because it comes with responsibility. It means that there's no one to blame, no safety net, no excuses. If you fail, it's on you. But that is exactly why it is so powerful. Because when you own your success, you own your life. The system wants you to be a worker, to be a cog in a machine that benefits someone else. They train you to believe that stability means relying on an employer, a paycheck, a pension, the idea that if you just follow the path they've set, you'll be safe. But real security doesn't come from dependency. It comes from knowing that no matter what happens, you have the ability to adapt, to create opportunities, to survive and thrive on your own terms. Financial independence is the first and most obvious step towards self-sufficiency. If you rely on a paycheck, you are never truly free. One decision from your boss, one bad month for the company, one economic downturn, and your entire life can be thrown into chaos. That is not security. That is a trap. Wealthy people don't think like that. They don't work for money, they make money work for them. They build businesses, they invest, they create multiple streams of income so that no single event can destroy them. They don't worry about getting fired because they are the ones in control. And the moment you start thinking like that, the moment you shift from being a worker to being an owner, everything changes. It's not just about money. Mental self-sufficiency is just as crucial. Most people don't even think for themselves. They let the news, social media, society, and their surroundings dictate what they believe, what they value, what they chase in life. They don't question why they do what they do, why they want what they want. They are programmed from birth to accept the reality given to them. But true self-sufficiency means breaking that programming. It means questioning everything. It means choosing your own values, deciding what success means to you, shaping your own reality instead of letting someone else do it for you. When you are mentally independent, you can't be manipulated, you can't be controlled, you can't be influenced by fear or pressure or trends. You operate on a higher level. Physical self-sufficiency is just as important. Your body is your vehicle in this world, and if you don't take care of it, you are at the mercy of the system. The healthcare industry thrives on people being weak, being sick, being reliant on medication and treatment instead of taking control of their health. They want you eating garbage, living a sedentary life, accepting weakness as normal. But a strong body is a powerful body, a disciplined body. If you are in peak physical condition, you have energy, you have endurance, you have the mental clarity and the resilience to push through obstacles. You don't rely on doctors, you don't rely on pills, you don't rely on external solutions. You own your health just like you own your mind and your wealth. Time is another aspect of self-sufficiency that most people overlook. If someone else controls your time, they control your life. If your schedule is dictated by a boss, a corporation, a system that demands you work endlessly just to survive, then you are not free. Time is the most valuable asset in existence because it is the one thing you can never get back. That's why the people at the top, the truly powerful, do everything in their power to buy their time back. They delegate, they automate, they build businesses and investments that generate income without requiring their constant presence. They don't waste hours in meaningless meetings, in traffic, in jobs they hate. They live on their own terms because they understand that time is the real currency of life. The final level of self-sufficiency is emotional control. The system preys on emotions. It uses fear, anger, anxiety, and insecurity to keep people trapped. The news is designed to make you scared. Social media is designed to make you compare yourself to others, to make you feel inadequate, to make you crave validation. The more reactive you are, the easier you are to control. But when you master your emotions, when you refuse to be swayed by fear, by hate, by doubt, by external pressure, you become untouchable. You move with purpose, with logic, with confidence. You are no longer a slave to your impulses. You are no longer controlled by the opinions of others. You dictate your own reality. Most people will never achieve true self-sufficiency because it requires effort, discipline, and sacrifice. It means stepping away from comfort, from illusion, from the lies that have been fed to you since birth. It means taking full responsibility for your life. And that is something most people fear. They would rather be comfortable in chains than struggle for freedom. But for those who understand, for those who choose to break free, self-sufficiency is the key to everything. When you don't need anyone, when you control your own mind, your own wealth, your own body, and your own time, you become truly unstoppable. Taking control of your life is the single most important step toward breaking free from the system that has been designed to keep you trapped. Most people go through life on autopilot, following a path that was laid out for them before they were even old enough to question it. They are told to go to school, get a job, work for someone else, follow the rules, and hope that one day, if they behave well enough, they might get to retire with just enough money to survive. But this isn't living. This is slavery disguised as security. The harsh truth is that if you are not in control of your own mind, your own actions, and your own destiny, then someone else is. The people who run the world, the ones who sit at the top, do not follow this script. They do not wait for permission. They do not let circumstances dictate their future. They take control. The first step to taking control of your life is to take control of your mind. Most people are mentally weak because they have never been taught how to think for themselves. Their beliefs, their values, and even their ambitions are not truly their own. They are programmed by society, by media, by culture, by a system that benefits from their compliance. From the moment you are born, you are conditioned to follow orders, to accept the reality that is presented to you, and to never question why things are the way they are. You are taught to obey authority without hesitation, to trust the experts, to believe what you are told without challenging it. But real power comes from independent thought. If you cannot think for yourself, then you are not truly alive. You are merely a pawn in someone else's game. Taking control of your mind means questioning everything. Why do you believe what you believe? Why do you want what you want? Have you truly chosen your path, or was it chosen for you? The moment you start questioning, the moment you start thinking critically, you begin to see the cracks in the illusion. You begin to realize that most of the things people chase, status, validation, comfort, are nothing more than distractions designed to keep them weak and obedient. True power comes from clarity, from knowing exactly what you want and why you want it. It comes from refusing to let fear, doubt, or external influences dictate your decisions. It comes from understanding that your mind is your greatest weapon, and if you do not sharpen it, someone else will use it against you. Once you have taken control of your mind, the next step is to take control of your actions. Most people live reactively. They wake up every day and simply respond to whatever happens to them. They go through their routines without purpose, without strategy, without any real direction. They let circumstances dictate their lives instead of shaping their own destiny. But those who understand the game know that every single decision matters. Every action you take is either moving you closer to freedom or deeper into slavery. The way you spend your time, the people you surround yourself with, the habits you develop, these are not random choices. They are the foundation of your future. Discipline is the key to taking control of your actions. If you cannot control yourself, then you will never be in control of your life. Weak people make excuses. They blame their environment, their upbringing, their circumstances. They tell themselves that they can't do something because of external factors. But strong people understand that no one is coming to save them. No one is going to hand them success, power, or freedom. It must be taken. And that requires relentless discipline. It means doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It means waking up every day with a mission, with a plan, with a drive that cannot be broken. It means pushing through discomfort, through failure, through resistance, because you understand that every obstacle is just another test of your strength. Taking control of your life also means taking control of your time. Most people trade their time for money, and in doing so, they give away their most valuable asset for the illusion of stability. Time is the one thing you can never get back. It is more valuable than money, more valuable than status, more valuable than anything else in existence. Yet most people waste it. They spend hours scrolling through nonsense, watching meaningless entertainment, engaging in distractions that serve no purpose. They give their time to employers who do not care about them, to relationships that drain them, to activities that bring them no real progress. But those who take control of their lives understand that time is their greatest weapon. They guard it fiercely. They invest it wisely. They cut out anything that does not serve their mission. They understand that every second wasted is a second they will never get back. Finally, taking control of your life means taking full responsibility for everything that happens to you. Weak people look for excuses. They blame their parents, their circumstances, the government, the system. They look for reasons why they can't succeed instead of focusing on what they can control. But the moment you take full responsibility for your life, everything changes. You stop waiting. You stop complaining. You stop relying on anyone else to fix your problems. You realize that every single thing in your life, good or bad, is a result of your choices, your mindset, and your actions. And that is the most liberating realization you can ever have. Because once you accept full responsibility, you gain full power. You are no longer a victim. You are no longer at the mercy of the world. You are the master of your own fate. Most people will never take control of their lives because it is easier to be controlled. It is easier to follow orders, to accept limitations, to live in a comfortable prison than to fight for freedom. But for those who understand, for those who refuse to be shackled by mediocrity, taking control is the only path worth walking. It is not easy. It is not comfortable. It requires strength, discipline, and sacrifice. But it is the only way to truly live, because when you control your mind, your actions, and your time, you control your destiny. And that is the ultimate form of power. Life is a war, and every single day is a battle. Most people are walking through this world blind, shackled by a system that doesn't care if they win or lose. They are trained to be weak, conditioned to follow orders, told to accept a life that is beneath their potential. But that is not how warriors think. That is not how winners operate. You must understand that every moment you waste, every second you let slip through your fingers, is another moment you will never get back. And the difference between the people who rise and the people who stay trapped is simple. They refuse to waste time. They refuse to be controlled. They refuse to kneel. If you want to break free, you must become undeniable. You must become so powerful, so relentless, so unshakable that nothing can stop you. You must wake up every morning with an unbreakable hunger, a drive so strong that no obstacle can slow you down. You must be willing to suffer for success, willing to sacrifice comfort for power, willing to embrace pain as fuel for your growth. Because in the end, pain is a currency. The more you endure, the more you invest, the greater your reward will be. Look around you. The people who are winning in life, the ones who are in control, the ones who refuse to be shackled, they are not the ones who complain. They are not the ones who make excuses. They are the ones who push through, who refuse to break, who never stop until they get what they want. They are the ones who look fear in the eye and laugh. They are the ones who keep moving forward when everyone else quits. And if you want to be like them, if you want to escape this system, then you must do what 99% of people refuse to do. You must embrace discomfort. You must dominate your mind. You must train yourself to be unstoppable. The world doesn't owe you anything. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you success, power, or freedom. You must take it. You must fight for it, and you must be ready to do whatever it takes. That means discipline when you don't feel like it. That means working when others are sleeping. That means cutting out everything in your life that slows you down, everything that weakens you, everything that stops you from reaching your full potential. Because if you don't do it, someone else will. And they will be the ones who rise while you stay trapped. Most people will live and die in the same cycle. They will wake up, work a job they hate, obey rules they never question, and accept a fate they never chose. But not you. You are different. You see the game for what it is. And you know that the only way to win is to take control. You must decide right now that you will never be controlled again. You must decide that from this moment forward, your destiny is in your hands. You must decide that you will do whatever it takes to break free. The road to freedom is not easy. It is filled with pain, rejection, failure, and suffering. But that is the price of greatness. That is the cost of success. Every powerful man in history, every champion, every legend, every ruler, they all suffered. They all sacrificed. They all endured. But they never broke. They never backed down. They never surrendered. And neither will you. Because in the end, you have only two choices: control or be controlled, lead or be led, dominate or be dominated. There is no middle ground. There is no compromise. Either you break free or you stay a prisoner forever. And the only difference between those who rise and those who fall is the willingness to fight. Now ask yourself, are you willing? Are you ready to suffer for your success? Are you ready to train your mind, your body, your soul to be unbreakable? Are you ready to shut out the noise, cut off the distractions, and become the most dangerous version of yourself? Because if you are, then nothing can stop you. No system, no obstacle, no enemy, no doubt. Nothing can break the man who refuses to be broken. Nothing can stop the man who refuses to quit. Nothing can control the man who has mastered himself. So take the first step, stand up, fight back, escape the matrix, take control, because the world belongs to those who dare to take it.